Hey guys, today I have another Flames of War video. Today I'm gonna do an unboxing slash review of the brand new one of the brand new Japanese boxes. This is a Kihei platoon, the cavalry. You get more than what you see here in the front, but as you can see, they look real nice. They have the standard there, the banner with the Japanese flag, your commander with the katana, and a whole bunch of guys look real nice in their Japanese uniforms. Early War Japanese looks real nice. It's cool to see the symbol here. The rising sun, and I have it there on my screen too. Got into the mood of Early War. This revitalized my wanting to play Early War. I was really excited about the Greeks, but they didn't come out with anything. They came out with models wise an HQ, and that's it. Everything else they tell you to just use Italian models, which I didn't want to do because it isn't completely accurate. So I think they should, they made 2 lists for them in Burning Empires. And it's not enough. But with the Japanese, they went out, they've already have like 4 or 5 boxes already, and a whole bunch of blisters and extras. So this is one of them. This is all he had for Japan in my store. This was all there was. He had 2 boxes of Kihei, so I just went and bought it, and I got the book as well, which I'll be reviewing separately. The Rising Sun, I think it's awesome. Hands down my favorite book so far of all the new ones, even more than Nuts. I think this is really cool. The best Early War book in my opinion. I really like it. 3 countries that have never been featured in Early War, some of you may know by now. Russia, Finland, and Japan. This is all the national rules for Japan, as well as new rules for Finland and Russia, but that'll be a separate video. Okay, so I bought 2 of these. I have one that's opened. As you can see, I have them laid out here in different stages. Nothing here is fully painted because I'm waiting for the paints to arrive that I ordered, because my store didn't have them. Their uniforms are the same color as Russians, khaki gray. The helmets are the same as the Americans, brown violet. So that'll be cool to see that mix. Looks real nice, like a brownish green. In each box you actually get an HQ section, and as well as a platoon. You get the maximum you can in a platoon, which is either 3 squads of cavalry or 4. So they give you the option to do the full thing, the command center for the platoon, as well as a 1IC and a 2IC with a banner. So actually, when I'm done, I'm going to buy another one because I'm taking 3 in my company for a tournament coming up. So I'm going to have 2 extra HQ sections, 1IC and 2ICs, which I'm not sure what I'll be able to use, but it's nice that they give you a 1IC and a 2IC in the same platoon box. So in total you get 7 stands of cavalry, 4 big stands, 3 small stands. Here's a 1IC. You get 2 models with the katana upraised. Decided to make one. What's nice about it is that they come on cavalry, which are pretty huge. They come on horses, they're cavalry, so it's huge. It's bigger than a lot of tanks, especially early war tanks. Very big, like war horses. You get probably 6-7 different poses, maybe even 8. And these guys also have their MG teams, which is useless because cavalry always count as moving, so you'll only get 1 shot with them. But I guess in defensive fire you'd get 3 shots. They're MG teams, and they have the actual. They give you enough guys to have each stand with an Japanese MG. I think it's the Type 3 heavy machine gun. So that's pretty cool. It's a real distinctive. If you've seen any movies with World War II Japanese, you'll recognize it right away. Or if you played any video games, that features that. So you get 2 guys with the katana. They all have katanas. They all have scabbards with the katanas in them. 2 of them have it up, and a couple guys have, like, they're about to draw their katana, like they're about to charge in and draw their sword. Here's the banner. You get 1 guy there. You pay 75 points pretty much with every Japanese list, and except for the armored lists. But with the cavalry and the infantry, you buy a regimental standard for 75 points. I'll go into detail later on in another video what it does. But they give you the option to model it here. See, he's holding it there while he's in a gallop, and the guy next to him, which is his commander, that I'm using as a 2IC. This is a regimental standard, goes on the 2IC. And this guy, to differentiate, just because they both have the what's beautiful is that they're big horses, so you can paint them any way you want. You can have a lot of variety and customization with your kit, and you can paint them all black, all white, all brown, different shades of brown, lighter gold. You can customize the color of the manes and the tails, and custom, mix and match any way you want to have your guys real unique any way you want them. So it comes with a 1IC and a 2IC, platoon commander, and 4 stands of these. I built 2 of them. They only show you 2. on the website to, I built these exactly how they are in the website, which is wrong because one of them, this one that they show you how to build, doesn't come with a MG in the back, so I have an extra MG that's not built. So that was a mistake on their part. But you can see they look real nice. Even they're not even half finished, and you know, they just look really cool. And you don't see a lot of this. I don't know, you know, maybe where you guys play, but I've never seen cavalry in my store. In my 3 years playing Flames of War, I've never seen anybody take cavalry or even heard of anybody taking cavalry. There's a misconception that they're just human bullets, pretty much, which is actually a Japanese special rule they have called human bullet. But that they're too vulnerable, and you know, they never get across the field when they have to. But with the list in the book, you can take 3 platoons of them, 5 stands each, and they're fearless veterans, which is awesome. The Japanese, you get options to take confident, fearless trained, fearless veteran infantry, either choice, and fearless veteran cavalry company, which is what I'm taking. 3 platoons, 5 stands each, fearless veteran cavalry, and each commander, a real cool rule with the katanas. All their commanders have katanas, even for the tanks. They hit on 2s in assault, which is awesome. So and cavalry, you guys may not know, they move 10 inches, and they have a special rule similar to Avanti for the Italians and Hussar for the Hungarians, where they can choose to bypass shooting, which why wouldn't you, because cavalry always count as moving, so you'll get 1 shot, so it sucks. And if they're rifle cavalry, they'll get +1 to hit, so it's horrible. So why would you shoot? You get to do a skill check instead and move an extra 4 inches, just like Avanti and Hussar. And so that gives you potentially an 18-inch assault range. You know, they move at the double, that's 20 inches. You can assault the same turn, but you know, you get there faster, and then they can potentially assault 18 inches, which is amazing. And since they're the fearless veterans, it's easier to pass that skill check. The move at the gallop is what it's called in the rulebook. So they can move 14 inches instead of just 10, and then assault another 4. So 18-inch assault, and they'll hit on 3s, and 3 up motivation because they're fearless veterans. So they hit on 3s. They're gonna kill 3, 4, 5 stands, because obviously you can attach a 1IC, 2IC, anything you want. So you're gonna get a whole bunch of dice. You might have 1 or 2 stands dead by the time you get to whatever your assault, but you'll get at least 4, 5, maybe 6 dice. You know, if you're lucky, because they are veterans. So even, you know, if they get shot, they're gonna be forced to hit, which is a 50-50 with anything. And you have 3 platoons of them if you take the full 3 platoons, which is what I'm taking. And even if they do, you know, kill them, whittle them down, hopefully you should be able to get them into assault, which they'll be devastating whatever they assault, because they mow down everything that fails to counterattack or flees. They move 8 inches, I believe, so infantry can't get away unless they run inside a building, because cavalry can never be inside of buildings. So that's the only catch. But if it's infantry, they can't make it to a building, they just die. So, and most likely you will be winning assaults, like unless other fearless veterans, and even then it's a 50-50. So most of the time you will be winning assaults against whatever you assault. If you don't massacre them outright, they'll break off and you'll mow them down. You'll just trample them. So in total, you know, if you take a full company you can take either 3 squads, which is just 3 stands, plus the commander for the platoon, or a full 4 big stands, 1 small stand. This guy hits on 2s, the fearless vets. And you can also give them banners, which is really nice. It makes them have to be hit 6 times in defensive fire instead of just 5 times to suppress them. So they have to be hit 6 times. If you buy the banners, 25 points per platoon. So they're fearless veterans, and now you have to hit them 6 times in defensive fire to make them break off. It counts for something else, I forgot what it was. But yeah, that's real good. Also, they're a lot harder to take off the table because of special rules that the Japanese have, which I'll go into detail later. But if you basically, your Japanese, when they fail their platoon morale check to run away, they stay, and they just become like frenzied, you know, soldiers, and they just try to assault and go to the nearest objective. And they can't shoot, but they move farther. So it's really cool. They have a whole bunch of special rules to get into assault quickly. Another thing, everything but the cavalry can choose to fight at night, and they're not regulated to moving only, you know, a short distance, and also they can move at the double. Japanese can move at the double through rough terrain as well as at night. So that's really, really good rule. So if it's nighttime, if they have a special rule, everything but the cavalry can choose to always be the attacker, and if you're attacking, you can choose to make it night, dawn. So for the first 3 turns at least, It's going to be night. You can move at the double. They can't. And so that's really, really useful as well. That's with the infantry and the tanks. So in total, that'll be 15 plus your 1 IC and 2 IC, 17 stands of cavalry. They can move 10, most likely 14 with a special move at the gallop. And assault 18 inches. You start, if you start at the 12, then that's another assaulting 18. That's 28 inch assault if you, turn 1. So potentially, so that's really good. And they're not going to massacre all 3 of them. So you'll have at least 1 platoon, maybe even 2, that get into assault, because they're not going to have enough firepower to kill 17 stands of fearless veteran cavalry, because they are infantry. Cavalry count as infantry teams, so they have a 3-up save. However, they can never be in bulletproof cover, but that's fine because they're just so mobile. They move twice as fast as infantry, if not even farther. 18-inch assault, which is great, and they mow down whatever they fails to counterattack them or runs away. So the box is $35 US. My store, there's a special discount, comes out to like 32, around 35. The discount pretty much just cancels tax, so 35 bucks. I have found that with my research in the book in Rising Sun, this is the cheapest money-wise way to build a company from the book. It's the cheapest company money-wise because these are 35. You get 3 combat platoons, your 1 IC and your 2 IC for $100 bucks, roughly $100, $105, and you get all your 3 combat platoons and your 1 IC, your 2 IC if you get the standard and all the banners. The 6, because each one of these is around 210 points, if I'm not mistaken, for a full platoon with everything. Your 1 IC, your 2 IC will come out to like 170 something, a bit expensive because you buy the regimental standard, which why wouldn't you? It's awesome. It automatically makes you pass all motivation checks in the platoon that they are attached to. So that's awesome. You don't even take motivation checks, you just automatically pass. There are some exceptions, but tank fear, stuff like that, counterattack, you just automatically pass. You don't even take it. However, it's 75 points, but it's worth it. So for 105 bucks, you can get 3 of these boxes. You get a whole bunch of stuff extra. You'll have 2 extra 1 IC, 2 ICs. They just throw it in there, which is real nice. Also, see if I can find it. You end up with, after you've built everything, you end up with 5 extra dudes with each box. So if you have any spare horses or whatever, maybe they sell horses or from another company or something, or for anything, it's nice that you have something extra at the end. You have 5 extra guys per box. So if you buy 3, you'll have 15 extra dudes that you can use any way you want. Might even be able to put them, I don't know, on half tracks or something. Some way to model them. I'm sure you guys can find a way. So real nice. You only had 2. I need another one to make my cavalry company. I think it's real promising, especially since no one at my store plays them, and since I've never played them either, as them or against them. I'm gonna have to learn how to play as them. But my opponents in the tournament and stuff, that usual people who go to the store, won't know how to play against them. So hopefully, my theories and strategies will work, and they won't really know how to counter them because they probably have never even read the section in the book, the rule book about cavalry rules, where I sat down and read them and contemplated, strategized, looked at the Japanese special rules. So have like ways of doing stuff and strategies that they're not accustomed to dealing against. So they might panic, and if anything, they'll waste all their shots on this, and everything else I have will be untouched because they'll be terrified of the cavalry. They'll see how fast it moves and that they're fearless veteran. The commanders hit on 2s. So it'll be really interesting. I'll most likely be the only Japanese player there and the only cavalry player too at that. So I'll end this video. I'm not sure how long it is. 14 minutes. Okay. And then I'll stop by and make a new video. I'll do a review of this. I know there's another one up already, but I like to do it my way. Awesome book. I love this book. This is my favorite book so far. And I pretty much have every book that's come out in the last year. Pretty much every book. And this has to be my favorite. Not just for early war. Not just because of the Japanese, but the Russians. I also play Russians. I always wanted to pick up Finns, but the models for early war, which aren't out yet, I don't believe, are real nice. They have the winter stuff, but I'll do that separate. Oh, another thing. You can also use these guys to play Mongolians. No, not Mongolians, Manchurians, from Manchukuo, the Japanese province of Manchuria. And they're reluctant trained, or no, they're confident conscripts. But 1 platoon is 12 stands of these. So if you buy the 3 boxes, it's real versatile. You can take them as a support option with your infantry company, and you can take 1 platoon of 12 stands of these. So you combine your 3 boxes that you buy. It's like taking 3 full platoons in 1 platoon, but they're confident conscripts, which isn't bad. But it's 105 points for 12 stands of confident conscript cavalry. I think that's a really good cost-effective choice. So there's lots of options with these guys, and you can always proxy. It's not a big deal. You don't have to buy 3 different types of cavalry for 3 different types of countries. For, you know, if you have the cavalry, I mean, so long as you have the big base and it's real cavalry, so it's easy to see that it is cavalry, you can easily proxy. I don't see why anybody would complain that, you know, their pants aren't blue, so they're not Cossacks, so you can't use them. You know, it's on a cavalry base, they're actual cavalry, so you could proxy them. Because this book has a lot of Russian lists as well, with Russian and Mongolian cavalry, as you can see here. There's a Kavaliersky Polk, which their models look actually really nice, but I'm not sure if there are actual models out yet of Russians. And as you can see, they're huge. So with the same infantry that you buy, you don't have to spend more money. You can just proxy and use it for the Russian list in here as well. So I'll do that separate, but I was going to say, you know, a lot of the things in this book aren't out yet, which kind of sucks, but I'll say that in the other video. Alright guys, so next time, to give this out of a 10, honestly, I think it's just, there's nothing, they give you so many extra things. Each box gives you a 1 IC and a 2 IC. You have loads of options of how to build them, how to paint them, how to base them. I think it's a great value, 35 bucks, and you get all of this. All of this, it's awesome. Really, really good deal. I think it's the best 35 bucks I've spent in Flames of War. I think it's the best deal there is. Really, really great. I'd give it a 10 out of 10. If I could give it more, I would. It's awesome. Alright guys, till next time. Let me know if there's anything you want me to review or unbox, any type of video request, or any ideas you guys might have of anything new that you haven't seen on YouTube, which is what I'm always trying to do, is like some video that doesn't exist yet. You know, like a battle report. I'm going to start doing battle reports as well, but unedited, because I like the live action rolling. I really like that aspect, so it's not just boring 5-minute battle report of a guy talking and he just tells you what happened in the turn. That's 50 seconds of him telling you what happened each turn. For that, I just go on What Would Patton Do, WWPD, and just read a battle report with pictures, which are HD and beautiful. So there's no point in watching a 5-minute video on YouTube of a guy saying, oh, and this turn this happened. No, I'd rather see, you know, you moving your stuff and what are you thinking at that moment, and what your opponent's response is, and what the dice rolls are, and see what happens. So I think that's a lot more lively. So I'll be doing battle reports like that. I'll be doing battle reports with the new book, with Rising Sun. Maybe though I'll see if I can, it might be difficult, but to film my games in the tournament with these guys to see how they do. Also, I'll try to film some practice games with these guys. Also, mainly so I can go back and see what mistakes I made for myself for reference. Alright guys, till next time.